Paint Your Happy Watercolors and Mixed Media workshop. So in step number 4, what we're going to do is accentuate or highlight the shape of the heart, which is the main subject of this project. And then at the end of this particular step, we are going to embellish the heart with a collage technique using shapes that we create out of simple paper. We won't be using overtly complicated materials in the step. So what I do here is take some black watercolor paint and just make the outline of the heart shape a bit bold. Now you can make it as bold or as thin as you like, but I sort of like to use the moderate approach because if it's too bold and too thick, it might look overpowering. Once we've done that, I add a little shadow using the same paint that I had used for the background. I mix a little bit of Payne's gray and then add a slight shadow which is just outside the left hand side of the heart shape. It doesn't need to be too dark. I'm aiming for whimsy ghostly wash. And then I use some white paint concentrated with not too much of water to add some highlights or brightness to the top right section of the heart. The idea is to sort of add a little bit of a tonal contrast so that the heart looks three-dimensional as opposed to just flat. So we've added the shadow and I'm just building up lightness bit by bit using white color, and then I add some pure red color to the left hand side. Again, the idea is to make it look more three-dimensional. You'll see that to sort of end the highlights, I'm using concentrated color straight from the tube because we are working wet on wet. So I could keep adding layers and layers of watercolor, but I just wouldn't get the bang of the highlight right away. So this is just to sort of fast track the process. Of course, if you are enjoying layer by layer, you could build up the lightness or any of those colors that I'm using here, working layer on layer. And then I am using some concentrated red color to just blend in the colors within the. So this is a butterfly that I have created by just folding a paper in half and then drawing half a butterfly, cutting the shape out. My tip is to just cut out as many butterflies as you need and then position it around the heart, and then before you stick the butterfly or do anything with them, make sure you're happy with everything that you've done in the painting so far with regards to the heart. Let me just show you how I did this butterfly. I take the butterfly and then using some ghostly black color, I'm going to draw out the central body of the butterfly and then just add some light yellow color originating from the central section of the butterfly. And I won't go all the way to the tips of the wings because we're going to add some other colors over there. Make sure that your brush strokes are light and ghostly and not too prominent. I'm going to put that one aside and do the next one. With this next one, I am going to use a marker. Now what I'm using here is alcohol markers, but feel free to use any other marker that you like. Now you'll notice that I'm again using a dark color to sort of start from the central part of the butterfly's body, and it sort of looks more butterfly-ish, if you know what I mean. I mean, we're not aiming for a realistic butterfly, but at least in terms of looking illustrative, I'm trying to mimic the natural patterns. Next, I'm going to use some very light pastel green colors to color in the butterfly. You can use any color that you like. It does not have to be an alcohol marker. You can continue using your watercolor paints. The only reason I'm using the alcohol marker is just to again hasten the process because the markers won't take too long to dry and they'll be ready in a jiffy for me to stick onto my painting and start collaging it. So next what I do is use some orange marker to complete the first butterfly that I'd actually started with watercolors. Again, I'm trying to just make this a quick fun project and not stress about this remaining in my one of my incomplete project stash. So there you go, I've added some greens, I'm adding some bursts of colors. Again, you're completely free to use any color combination that you like. Right, so next I'm going to just play around and try to position them and see what looks really nice. I don't want to take away from the subject, which is the heart. All I want to do is embellish it, add some interest. So my tip would be to not stick it right away. I've mentioned this before. Just have a play, organize, walk away from it, have a cuppa, come back and have a little bit of a play again. So there's really no need to rush. Now, in order for you to stick the butterfly, you could continue using PVC glue. Now you'll notice that I'm cutting the butterfly because it's just too big, and I realized that both the butterflies won't fit. And that's the fun of doing an intuitive project like this. You're completely free to have a play and change things as you go, make up things as you go. So I've snipped one of the butterfly, and just watch what I do here. I'm going to position that approaching the heart like so, and the cutaway piece, I'm going to create the impression of a third butterfly flying away out of the painting, and that actually gives a nice color balance. It distributes the orange color around the painting. And 3 butterflies, 1 partial and 2 complete, actually looks nicer than just 2. Okay, now you don't have to do what I did. Maybe you've already cut out 3 butterflies while you were creating the embellishments for this project. So again, be intuitive, be curious, have fun, and look for what works out best for you. So I'm just using this Mod Podge that I used previously to seal the initial layers, and some PVA craft glue as well. So my paint was a little bit wet, so I have accidentally smeared some of that red paint on the butterfly, and that's perfectly fine for a project like this one. So let's end the step 4 and look at what we will do next in step number 5.